you ever noticed that when a plane takes off, it takes a fair bit of energy to get it going? The condo market has been like that.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
As we explore sort of the whole condominium market, we welcome you back to the conversation, or engage deeper in the conversation about condominiums and what things do we need to be aware of.
Yeah. One would be condo fees. They can fluctuate a lot. And what is included in that fee? Because if it's all inclusive of everything you need, then yeah, it makes sense. It's higher than somewhere else. But there could be exponential height increases because the condominium didn't do a good job of taking care of the things that needed to be done, like a driveway repave or windows for everybody, that sort of thing. So really looking at the condo fees, what is included: water, insurance, heat, maintenance, amenities, maybe there's a pool or a sauna.
Then we know the condo fees are going to be much increased.
Yeah, the
right?
more things that are included, it's going to be higher generally.
Right. And then what's interesting with condo fees is on the previous segment, we talked about that roofs, shingles, and windows would be included sometimes. Yeah. And sometimes they're not. So one of the things to really check for in a condominium, right, Candice, is what is included in care that you don't have to do, not just like in terms of amenities, because that's one element. Then there's the utilities, which is another element. And then another is simply, what are those things that the condominium fee covers or doesn't? Sometimes they share in the replacement of windows.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're on your own. And sometimes they do 100% of it. So that's something worth checking for. What would you say around the whole special assessment? That's a dirty word almost.
So that's what I was talking about a little bit. A special assessment comes when the condo corp miscalculated how much reserve funds they need for the upcoming expenses. So they budget monthly and yearly for snow removal, for repaving of the driveways, for the different things they need to take care of, whether it's exterior of the houses as well, doors, balconies, that sort of thing. So if they miscalculated,
or what I've seen a fair bit of in our city is gotten a nasty surprise, like the shingles that were used lasted half as long as anticipated, or there was, the way the siding was installed, there was a gap on the siding, so the walls inside the siding rotted, or the brick started to deface prematurely on a high-rise building. And some of these things are in the tune of millions of dollars for the repair. We're not talking $50 or $5,000. Some of these things are like millions. And so sometimes it's not even that they miscalculated, it's that it's surprise.
It's a nasty surprise. Yeah. So when that happens, then they go to every owner and they divide up the amount that they need for the repair or the thing they're working on, and each owner is responsible to pay that amount.
And sometimes it's distressing.
Oh yes, yep. And you have to advertise that when you're selling. Right. That is not something you can hide. And if it is hidden, when you do your conditions as a buyer with us, we'll be finding that out anyways. But you don't necessarily want to go forward with your inspections to do that and spending the money on that when you would have walked away earlier if you knew about this special assessment ahead of time.
Right.
But generally, when there is a special assessment, the seller takes care of it before closing.
Right. So the ones that are scarier, I think, are when the agent's not informed, doesn't know the condo market, because I know which buildings have issues right now or have special assessments, because even if the homeowner, so this is a thing to be just aware of and check on, is even when the homeowner pays the special assessment before closing or the price is adjusted because they're not paying it, and the buyer pays it, but they've paid less for it because of it. Sometimes there's still more cost to be spent than was anticipated. Right?
So a second special assessment
Or
can
third
happen.
or fourth.
Yep.
Surprise, surprise. And then the other piece to look out for is your lender.
Mm-hmm.
How will your lender, and what have you seen around them, lenders and their response to special assessments?
Well, they're getting more and more shy about those things, more reserved. Lenders as a whole are having more strict guidelines to
The
lending.
stress test, and
Yeah.
like there's just so many more things to think about, even condominiums.
Yes.
So as a seller, what would you want to do?
You'd want to pay that previous to selling, have it taken care of.
Right. And even check with your lender and saying, if I were, well, maybe not your lender, check with the new lender. If I was wanting to borrow for this, would you give me money? Right? Because then you know in all probability whether the buyer's lender is going to fund on that or not. And then rely on the wisdom of your real estate agent as well. Right? That can help you navigate that because it is a bit tricky. So with condos, what is another thing we want to think about beyond what's covered, what's not covered? Special assessments. Increase in condo fees in a new building, we've got to watch for how much they go up. And if it's a newer condo corp, sometimes they're down.
Yes.
And then they skyrocket once it's registered and once, it's kind of established.
Yeah. And the other thing that you don't always get in a new building or a new home is your taxes. You don't know what the taxes are going to be. So that's also harder for a lender to lend on that.
Right. So being
Yeah.
sure of that. And then with condominiums, sometimes there's more restrictions. Like, can I rent it? What kind of rental can I do?
And yeah, sometimes they have a cap on how many units can be rented.
And can I do daily or weekly rentals, or can I only do monthly rentals?
Right.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff to think about there. And then parking.
Yeah, parking is huge. Typically it's one. Sometimes it's 2 parking spots.
Sometimes
they're
it's 0.
Sometimes there's ones you can rent, but you want to know what's attached with the condo unit that you're purchasing.
Right. And visitor parking. Sometimes there's none. Sometimes there's little. Sometimes there's slots. So really that whole conversation. And can I get access to a second spot if I have one spot? Or can I get access to a spot if I have no spots?
Right.
So just a lot more to think about. And then renovations and improvements, getting approvals, just to be aware of what you need approvals for.
Yeah. So typically, even if you're changing something inside your unit, adding a bathroom, you need approval from the condo board for adding that bathroom. For example, if you were to just do it on your own and then put it up for sale and they see that it has a bathroom in it, they can ask you to remove that bathroom. And
We've seen that.
Yeah, we have.
So
Yeah.
we don't want that to happen to you.
No.
So if you're sort of thinking, wow, there's a lot more to think about than I anticipated, again, we've got over 30 years where we've been helping people navigate not just the condo market, but certainly the condo market. And we'd love to have that conversation with you because what we know is that as we partner together, we really have got this, whatever this is. Your questions, your insight, your gut intuition, and then some of the expertise and the gut intuition and the insight that we have to be able to have that conversation with you. So we're grateful that we've been able to do that and continue to do that.
Yeah.
So a condominium buy or sell it's okay if it stretches you a little, and it ought never, ever to stress you. So taking the stress out of it is what this conversation is all about.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.